ẹ má pa kádàrá mi dà. Say, aráyé o, ẹ má pa kádàrá mi dà. This song, yeah. Aráyé o, ẹ má pa kádàrá mi dà.
Once again, we'd like to welcome you to this celebration of 25 years of unbroken democratic governance in Nigeria. You must have heard it said that when Lagos sneezes, the whole of Africa catches a cold. So if Lagos is democratic, the whole of Africa will be truly democratic. On behalf of the Speaker and the honorable members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, I'm delighted to welcome us all. We'd like to welcome the Consul General of the French Embassy here in Lagos City, Nigeria, Laurent Favier. Can I have a round of applause for him if your hands are not busy? Would also like to welcome the Consul General of the German Consulate, Lagos, Nigeria, Bona. Thank you very much for coming.
We also want to welcome Consul General Italy, that's Ugo Boni. Many thanks for coming. And I can cite, of course, my brother, who is also one of the speakers here today.
Chairman, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, the irrepressible
Debo Adeniro.
Thank you very much for coming. I want to welcome our father, Kabiesi Obalatris. Thank you very much for coming. Kadek Pelori Kibata Pelese. Nigeria atubo ma tẹ̀síwájú nígbà tiyín sà. Kábíyèsí o.
I also want to use this opportunity to welcome Professor Egosa Osage. He is the Director General, Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Many thanks for being here today.
We'd like to welcome all honorable members of the most proactive, the most forward-looking House of Assembly anywhere in the world, under the leadership of the ever-vibrant, ever hardworking, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. I want to welcome also all principal officers of the House, the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Mrs. Miranda Mojisola Lasbat. Thank you very much for coming. God bless you.
Also, I would love to honor Honorable Adams Babatunde. He is the majority leader of Etiotsa. Many thanks for creating time to be here today.
Honorable Adedemola Kasumu, representing the good people of Ikeja too, is the Deputy Minority Leader. Thank you very much for coming.
We have Honorable Mojid Fatai Adebola, who is representing the Ibeju-Lekki one. Many thanks again for being here this evening.
That's our Chief Whip. I'd like to welcome our Deputy Chief Whip, representing the good people of Badagry 2, Honorable Engineer David Setonji Samuel.
All right, Mr. Clark, like I like to refer to him, that's Barrister Obi Onofekod. He's been working tirelessly in the last 1 week. We say welcome again and congratulations for graduating us today.
We'd like to welcome some of our fathers that have come in already, members of the GAC, the Governor's Advisory Council. Noteworthy is our father, Cardinal James Odumbaku Babaito. Thank you very much for coming. All our other fathers, Ashiwaju, Bashoru, thank you for coming. I want to welcome former chairman of our party, who is now a member of the GAC, Alhaji Tunde Balogun. Thank you very much for coming. Again, we welcome you. It's 25 years of growth.
Of
25 years.
Uninterrupted, unbroken democracy governance in Nigeria.
25 years of growth, 25 years of progress, 25 years of giving our people what they truly deserve. We might not have gotten to the promised land, but we're indeed on a rising trajectory. Thank you very much for coming to make today worthwhile. But most importantly, thank you for being part of the success story of democracy in Nigeria.
Samori àdúgbò yìí, ẹ jáde wá o, ẹ jáde wá o, kẹ́ wá gbọ́rọ̀ sí àwa o. Samori àdúgbò yìí, ẹ jáde wá o, ẹ jáde wá o, kẹ́ wá gbọ́rọ̀ sí àwa o. Tàbá jí lówùúrọ̀, tàbá ń tọrọ ọmọ, tàbá ń tọrọ ọmọ lọ́wọ́ Elédùmarè. Elédùmarè tó fún wa lọ́mọ, tó fún wa lọ́mọ, tómi àgbọ́ta wa o, tómi àgbọ́ta wa o, títí dọjọ́ alẹ́ o.
I'd like to welcome former chairman of our Papa local government, former member of the House of Rep representing the good people of Apapa, and now the managing director of the Lagos State Property Development Commission, LSDPC, Honorable Ayodeji Joseph. Thank you very much for coming. God bless you.
Baby jọ̀wọ́ kò má lọ o. Ọmọdé ṣe mí bí àmì dá. Olójó kò gbé mi sáyà. Kó wá fìfẹ́ tútù sọ́kàn mi o. Ọmọdé ṣe mí bí àmì dá. Díẹ̀jọ́ kò má lọ.
Our Father, Baba Bamu, thank you very much for coming. All our leaders in Lagos State APC, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you.
All the members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, your works at the National Assembly is a reflection of the development that we see today. We welcome you all.
Sorry, no. Àwíwíwí ṣẹlẹ̀ ògbó, ṣẹlẹ̀ ògbó, àfọ̀fọ̀fọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ oníbà. Àwíwíwí ṣẹlẹ̀ ògbó, ṣẹlẹ̀ ògbó, àfọ̀fọ̀fọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ oníbà. Ohun tó ṣe yìí wá jàre ẹ̀yìn. Ẹni tó padà sábìdí aláwòrán. Ohun tó ṣe yìí wá jàre ẹni. Ẹni tó padà sábìdí aláwòrán. Torí wípé ẹ̀rí wá kẹ́jú bá fún wa. Ẹ̀rí wá kẹ́jú bá fún wa. Captain lè pè méjì sẹ́, but assistant ó lè pè méjìlá. Ọba ìpè méjìlá ààfin, ìjòyè lè pè mẹ́fà láàfin. Ọba o, ọba ìpè méjìlá ààfin, ìjòyè lè pè mẹ́fà láàfin. Lọ́sàn tí wọ́n lù ọ́, ẹ̀sìn mi ariwo. Ẹ̀sìn mi àgbàjà. Ó ti dé o. Ẹ̀sìn mi ariwo. Ẹ̀sìn mi àgbàjà. Ó ti dé o. Ẹ̀sìn mi ariwo. Ẹ̀sìn mi àgbàjà. Torí náà, ohun tí mo rí ìwọ orí. 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 Torí pé èmi ti ra bòkè. Tó rẹrù sórí, tó rẹrù sẹ́yìn, torí pé ìbálẹ̀ ọjọ́ yẹn.
I'd like to quickly welcome the Onikate of Ikate Kingdom, Surulere, His Royal Majesty Oba Lateef Atanda-Adams. I want to welcome former two-time Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, first female alumni president of the Harvard Business School, Chief Mrs. Onikepo Akonde. Thank you very much for coming, ma.
Members of the Lagos State Executive Council, your attendance is of great importance to this occasion. You are highly welcome. Many thanks for creating time to be here this evening.
I want to welcome the Governor of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Mr. Celebo, who is here represented by Special Advisor on Political and Legislative Matters, Dr. Afolabi. Thank you very much for coming. I want to welcome an industrialist par excellence, a father in a million, the giant behind the Doi Group International, our father, Prince Samuel Adedoyin. The Lagos State House of Assembly has shown and proven time after time that they are the leading, most proactive, most forward-looking House of Assembly anywhere in sub-Saharan Africa. I did a little Googling before I came, and I can say authoritatively that the Lagos State House of Assembly is the only house doing something as noteworthy as this today. Not one, not two, not three, not four speakers. How many, my sister?
In fact, I've lost count when it comes to all the good works and, of course, with how they've represented Lagos State thus far in coordinating themselves. However, let me use this opportunity to acknowledge Dr. Afolabi, who is representing Mr. Governor today. He is the SA Political and Legislative Matters. You are highly welcome, sir.
We'll be starting very soon. We thank you for coming in early. We'd like to welcome the man who promised us a brighter, rewarding future and gave us a man that has given many years of his life in service to our state and nation. Ladies and gentlemen, one of Nigeria's brightest legal minds, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria and former Governor of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor, not mentioning former 3-in-1 Minister. You're welcome.
All right, let me use this opportunity to welcome Honorable Mrs. Abike Dabiri Arewa, who just walked in now. It's a privilege to have you in our audience this evening. Many thanks for being here.
Mama Diaspora will welcome you, but let me specially welcome a man who left the bank for governance, former Deputy Governor of our dear state, handsome, forward-looking, and very determined, Otumba Femi Pedro. Thank you very much for coming.
Níbi wọlé mọ́, wọ́n máa jó bolo, torí pé mo lò wá.
25 years of unbroken democratic governance in Nigeria. Former Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the Legislative Forum, Honorable Fashino. Honorable Fashino, thank you very much for coming. Honorable Dr. Sonny Ajose, Officer of the Order of the Niger, thank you very much for coming. Honorable Babatunde Balogo, thank you very much for coming. Dr. Chinyere Almona, FGA, thank you very much for coming.
Torí pé fájì tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. Ẹ bá mi sọ fún bàbá ẹ̀ kó máa ń lọ o. Torí pé fájì tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. Bèbí jọ̀ọ́ kó máa ń lọ o. Ọmọdé ń ṣe mí, bèbí mi dá. Olójó.
I want to welcome grassroots politician, extraordinaire member of the GAC, our father party. I was introducing earlier grassroots politician extraordinaire, member of the Governor Advisory Council, the highest advisory council in our state, Honorable Mutiu, grassroots Sheifumi Are. Thank you very much for coming. God bless you. Honorable Muslim Folabi, thank you very much for coming. God bless you, sir.
If you fight and run away, now me and you go fight again. If you fight and run away, now me and you go fight again. If you fight and run away, now me and you
Mr. Patrick Davos, Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Lagos State, thank you very much for coming to grace this occasion with your presence.
I acknowledge Honorable Femi Aigbe, APC member. Many thanks for creating time to be here today.
Once again, former Deputy Speaker of our dear state, the irrepressible Otumba Femi Pedro, thank you very much for coming. Former Deputy Governor of our dear state, God bless you, sir. All members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, you're welcome. Broadcaster par excellence, polyglot extraordinaire, pathfinder of what I do today, Uncle Prince Bisi Olatilo, thank you very much for coming. Everything we're doing here will be on the Bisi Olatilo show worldwide. Is also going to be on Real Talk with Kike on STV.
Láfíà jíríà, wọ́n ti kéré wọn níbẹ̀, àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀, àwọn ni wọ́n ò. Láfíà jíríà, wọ́n ti kéré wọn níbẹ̀, àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀, àwọn ni wọ́n. Kékeré láfíà jíríà, ọmọ. ajíhẹ́ríà wọ́n ti kéré wọn ni wọn àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀ olówó ni wọ́n láfi ajíhẹ́ríà wọ́n ti kéré wọn ni wọn àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀ olówó ni wọ́n kékeré láfi ajíhẹ́ríà ọmọ kékeré láfi ajíhẹ́ríà ọmọ rẹ̀ ọmọ kékeré láfi ajíhẹ́ríà ọmọ rẹ̀ kékeré láfi ajíhẹ́ríà ọmọ rẹ̀ ọmọ ìlú lé o kò sólóde ìlú lé o kò sólóde obìnrin kígbe ọkùnrin kígbe kálukú ló kígbe owó ìlú lé o kò sólóde ìlú lé o kò sólóde. Obìnrin kígbe ọkùnrin kígbe kálukú ló kígbe o. Bí Sisi múra gẹ̀gẹ̀ wọ́n wá ẹ̀ wálé. Bí Sisi múra gẹ̀gẹ̀ wọ́n wá ẹ̀ wálé. Àníṣe mo bèrè títí.
I want to welcome a royal father of distinction, the man who left the boardroom for the palace, the Alara of Ilara Epe, Kábíyèsí Ọba Fọlárin Ògúnsanwó Kádépẹ́lórí kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. Thank you very much for coming, Kábíyèsí.
Mo bèrè títí jẹ́ wọn ò jíṣẹ́ fún ẹni.
Minority.
Ìrọ̀lọ́pàá owó ló wá ẹ̀.
Deputy Majority, I greet you.
Wọn ò jíṣẹ́ fún ẹni. Ìrọ̀lọ́pàá náírà ló wá ẹ̀. Ìlú lé o kò sówó lóde. Ìlú lé o kò sówó lóde. Ọkùnrin kígbe kálukú ló ń kígbe owó. Mo ní obìnrin kígbe ọkùnrin kígbe kálukú. Ọ̀yá rọra fẹsọ̀ jayé rẹ ọ̀rẹ́ ayélé.
All right, our concise Dr. Mudashiru is a professor of economics. It's so good to see you here today. Many thanks for creating time to be here.
Dr. Muda is also an amazing footballer. Only those who know. Thank you for coming.
When I was just a little boy, I asked my father, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Yeah, what it says to me. Yes, será. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que será.
Once again, we'd like to recognize our speakers, former Governor of Lagos State, former Minister of the Federal Republic, His Excellency Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you for coming. I want to welcome a distinguished senator and a true gentleman, most distinguished Senator Ganiu Olanrewaju Solomon goes. Thank you for coming.
All right, we have one of our speakers here today as well, Johnny Baxter. That's the British Deputy High Commissioner of Lagos. Many thanks for creating time to be here today.
I also want to welcome another of our speaker, the Consul General of the French Embassy here in Lagos City, Nigeria, Laurent Favier. Bonsoir, bienvenue.
One of our speakers here today also is Mr. Debo Adeniro. Is the chairman of the Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership. Many thanks again for being here today.
Before I move to other speakers, permit me to welcome the chairman of our party here in Lagos, Pastor Cornelius Ojelabi. Thank you very much for coming. Our other speaker is the Consul General of the German Consulate here in Lagos, Wirt Bonner, LLM. Guten Abend. Thank you for coming. Also here, another of our speakers, the Chairman, CEO, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Broadcaster par excellence, Honorable Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa. Thank you for coming. God bless you.
All right, we have Ugo Boni, the Consul General, Italy Consulate in Lagos. Many thanks for creating time to be here today. Thank you so much. You're highly welcome.
The Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor, the irrepressible Benga Omotosho. Thank you for coming.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Yeah, what it says to me is, yes, será. Whatever will be.
Honorable Ayodeji Joseph, MD of the LSDPC. Thank you very much for coming. Uncle Bisi Olatilo, thank you for all you do. God bless you.
Good to see you, sir. Well done.
The future's not us to see.
Our father, industrialist par excellence, Prince Samuel Adedoyi. God bless you and thank you for coming. Our mother, former two-time Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, former president and only female president of the Harvard Business Alumni Association, former president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Chief Mrs. Onikepo Akonde. CFRMON, thank you very much for coming. Take it up.
Aha! Brown girl in the rain, sha la 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 la. She's brown girl in the rain, sha la 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 la. Brown girl in the rain, sha la 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 la. She looks like a sugar in a brown girl in the rain, sha la la la.
Another of our speakers, Chairman, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, Mr. Debo Adeniro. Thank you for coming. The United States of America Political and Economic Chief, U.S. Embassy, Lagos, Michael A. Irvin. Thank you for coming. Former Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Muda Yusuf. Thank you very much for coming. And last but definitely not the least, Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Ehosa Emmanuel Osage. Thank you very much for coming. All our fathers in the GAC, we thank you. tremendously for taking time out to be here this evening to celebrate 25 years of unbroken democratic governance in Nigeria. Principal officers of the House, would like to recognize you again. Deputy Speaker representing the good people of Apapa 1, Honorable Mrs. Miranda Mujisola Lasbat.
We also have Honorable Adams Babatunde, Majority Leader from Etiosa 1.
And the arc that is enough to cover all those that he represents, Deputy Majority Leader representing the good people of Ikeja 2, Honorable Adedamola Kasumo. Thank you very much for all you do.
We have the Chief Whip, Ibejuleki 1, Honorable Mojid Adebola. Many thanks for being here today.
Deputy Chief Whip, Badagry 2, Honorable Engineer David Setonji Samuel. Thank you for coming.
We have the Clerk of the House of Assembly here today, Barrister Obi Onofeko, who has been working tirelessly for over a few weeks to make sure that we have a good evening here today. Thank you so much for all the good works you've been doing.
Husband of the Deputy Governor of the state.
Husband.
I'd like to welcome my big daddy, the husband of the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, and engineer what is weight in gold, Engineer Salako Uyidele. Thank you very much for coming, Your Excellency.
We are HABBY.
We cannot go further without recognizing the spouses of the members of the Lagos State House of Assembly that are present. The Laslewa, if you're here, God bless you for all the support you give honorable members. Thank you for all you do, because if you do not give them the time to have a peace of mind at home, good laws will not be passed in our dear state. My sister, greet your sisters.
I welcome you all, the good wives of Lagos State House of Assembly. I welcome the good women who have impacted their men positively, adding value to them. And they said behind every successful man, there's a woman behind them. And I want to use this opportunity to say many thanks to the good women out there who are adding value to their men.
Since we have a little time, let me just quickly run through at the speed of light the honorable members of the House of Assembly representing Agege 2, Honorable Abdulkarim Jubril Ayodeji, representing Ajeromi Felodo 1, Honorable Olumo Said Lukman, Ajeromi Felodo 2, Honorable Oluwa Sabur Akambi, Alimosho 1, Honorable Jimo Orilokwe Lukman Olatunji.
All right, we have Honorable Joseph Kehinde Olaide from Alimosho 2, and Honorable Foluke Stella from Amowo Odofit 2.
Honorable Raouf Olawale Agesulaimon Amowo Odofit 2. As you've come here, God Almighty will go everywhere with you. But to give you a Lagos flavor, would allow the band play for another 5 minutes without interrupting them, because there are lots of reasons to come to Lagos. Some come here because of the economic viability it gives. Some come here because it's the center of excellence
and some
state of
come here
aquatic
because
splendor,
of the hospitality.
while a lot more come here because this is the home of the African dream. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave you in the hands of the band to give us a few Lagos tunes.
Enjoy.
Yemi bá mi pé mi sọ fún mi tẹ́lẹ̀ o. Èkó àkété ìlú ọgbọ́n. Bó bá dúró kò ṣọ́ra. Bó níyànjú. Èkó gbàgbẹ̀rẹ̀. Èkó gbàgbẹ̀rẹ̀. Èkó gbàgbẹ̀rẹ̀ rárá o. Èkó. Èkó gbàgbẹ̀rẹ̀. Èkó gbàgbẹ̀rẹ̀. Èkó gbàgbẹ̀rẹ̀ rárá o. Ani Yemi bá mi pé mi sọ fún mi tẹ́lẹ̀. Èkó àkété ìlú ọgbọ́n. Bó bá dúró kò ṣọ́ra.
Instead, I will not interrupt the band, but permit me quickly to welcome one woman that is referred to as woman, the APC women leader in our dear state, Honorable J. Okoya Thomas. God bless you. Let's go.
All right. Teacher Mode, mo fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher Mode, mo fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé, ọbẹ̀ rẹ̀ sì ta.
Somebody who is at home in the House of Assembly,
Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé.
Honorable Fumi Teju Osho, I greet you.
Adùkẹ́ Àlàkẹ́.
Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé.
Mo ní pé teacher Mode, mo fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher Mode, mo fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Ohoho. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé, ọbẹ̀ rẹ̀ sì ta sánsán. Adùkẹ́ Àlàkẹ́. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé, ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé, ọbẹ̀ rẹ̀ sì ta sánsán. Adùkẹ́ Àlàkẹ́. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé. Oya, ọ̀rẹ́ ẹgbẹ̀rún máìlì nítorí ọmọ pupa.
Ó jẹ́ mo rò mọ́tò dání.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ẹgbẹ̀rún máìlì nítorí ọmọ pupa. Yá mi lágbádá rẹ̀, yá mi ní pupa rẹ̀, yá mi lágbádá rẹ̀, yá mi ní pupa rẹ̀. Kí lè lọ, kí lè lọ, kí lè lọ o. Ó dàbọ̀, ó wá dàbọ̀ yé. Ó dàbọ̀, ó dàbọ̀ yínká. Ó dàbọ̀, ó dàbọ̀ yé. Ó dàbọ̀, ó wá dàbọ̀ yé. Ó dàbọ̀, ó dàbọ̀ yé. Ó dàbọ̀, ó dàbọ̀, ó dàbọ̀, ó dàbọ̀, ó dàbọ̀, ó dàbọ̀ yé. Ó dàbọ̀. Èkó rákété té ilé ọgbọ́n. Èkó rákété té ilé ọgbọ́n. Ara dẹ́dẹ́ kó má má já. Èkó àrò mi sá lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́. Ara wọn dẹ́dẹ́. Ara dẹ́dẹ́ kó má má já. Èkó àrò mi sá lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́. Sí táwọn ọ̀rẹ́ òní lè jẹ́. Wọ́n ní bí ò sí táwọn ọ̀rẹ́ òní lè mú. Ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ má sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. Ọba Olúwa la lè wí lè ṣe. The first. Ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ má sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. Ọba Olúwa la lè wí lè ṣe.
We would like to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, a thoroughbred medical professional, a respected and revered national icon, an unapologetic lover of humanity, a woman of great human cordiality, First Lady of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor, Her Excellency Dr. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu. Can I have a round of applause for her, please? Thank you very much for coming.
ìṣọwọ́ aláìdá kọ́mọlá ṣáìdá torí bùbá wọn ayáléjìká agogo tó lù méjìlá ó ń bọ̀ wá lù kan bùbá wọn ayáléjìká agogo tó lù méjìlá ló ń bọ̀ wá lù kan lọ́nà kọ́nà tó lè jẹ́ o. Láyé káyé tó lè jẹ́ o. All right. Àsìkò láyé ẹ̀dá kan kò mọ̀la. Àìmásìkò ló dààmú ẹ̀dá. Lórí àpáta tí Jésù yìí ni mo wà. Ogun ayé kan kò lè bà mí lẹ́rù o torí èmi tí mo wípé t'Olúwa láṣẹ koríko ti wù lórí àpáta lọ́lá Olúwa kò ṣọ́ wa délé o kárẹ́rẹ́ ọjà jẹ́ kákéré oko délé.
We'd like to welcome another member of the GSC, our father, Senator Anthony Adefuye. Once again, most distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic, Senator Ganiu Olanrewaju Solomon, thank you for coming. Members of the State ESCO,
Baba lókè àdúpẹ́. Ọba ń kínkì àdúpẹ́. Baba lókè àdúpẹ́. Má jẹ́ àwa láyé gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláìsí láyé. Má jẹ́ àwa láyé gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláìsí láyé. Fún wa lọ́mọ tí ó gbẹ̀yìn gẹ̀yìn tẹ́ iṣẹ́. Fún wa lọ́mọ tí ó gbẹ̀yìn gẹ̀yìn tẹ́ iṣẹ́. Tani wọ́n ro tèmi fún àyàfi bàbá lókè.
I want to welcome broadcaster par excellence, one of Nigeria's most respected journalists, the irrepressible Dr. Ruben Apati. Thank you for coming. I want to welcome strong believer in human rights and a true believer in democracy, one of Nigeria's brightest legal minds, a man that you don't want to block his car because you are not looking for trouble, the irrepressible Mr. Femi Falana. Thank you for coming. We'd like to call the House to order now. Thank you very much. We'd like to call the House to order now.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, honored dignitaries, welcome to the Lagos State House of Assembly. I am Kike Atanda-Owo, and it's my absolute pleasure to serve you as a co-anchor for today's event, as an entrepreneur, a media professional dedicated to shaping narratives within our society. I'm thrilled to be part of this historical celebration here today. 25 years of unbroken, uninterrupted democratic governance in Nigeria. Now, I have the great honor of introducing my co-anchor, the one and only Mr. Gbenga Adeyinka I. Known for his comic and entertainment capacity, Mr. Gbenga is not only a comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but also a cherished cultural icon who brings joy and laughter to countless Nigerians. Please, let's give him a warm round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, my sister, broadcaster, writer, author, Chief Principal Consultant at Z-Edge, Mrs. Kike Atanda-Owo Abati. It's a pleasure to be working with you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we crave your indulgence to please lend us your ears as we start this evening. But before we move any further, you must have heard it said that without democracy, people are lost. Without democracy, there's no good governance. And without democracy, the world will not be what it is.
And today, we gather to celebrate a monumental milestone in our national history. Like I said earlier, 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria, one of this significant day. We also want to remember and honor the late MKO Abiola and the past heroes, whose contributions to our democratic journey remain invaluable in our country, Nigeria.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating a journey of hope and transformation, a journey of building our nation and not looking back, but looking forward. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that we please all rise, if we're seated, for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I invite everyone to rise as we honor our nation with the recognition of the national anthem. Let us stand united, reflecting on our shared journey thus far, on the promise for the future ahead.
We'll take it after 3, if you're ready. 1, 2.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace, all back to honor, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
I'm very impressed. Let's give ourselves a round of applause.
Having the national anthem signifies the greatness of our nation above all.
I checked the hall and 90% of the people in the hall were singing along. A round of applause for yourselves.
A round of applause. I would like to inform us all that the restrooms are located at both sides of the hall. We can make use of them at our convenience, or better still, get the attention of any of the ushers to help you.
I'd also like to inform you that this is the Lagos State House of Assembly, one of the safest places in Africa. But please hold on to your phones, hold on to your valuables. If your wife or husband is under 60, hold on to them too. But if they're over 70, don't worry. Leave them, nothing can happen to them. We officially welcome you to this celebration of 25 years of unbroken democratic governance in Nigeria. Let me start by welcoming a man they call Mr. Immortal Rice Mill, Mr. Red and Blue Train, Mr. Lekki Depot, Mr. Incident Commander, Mr. Governor of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, who is represented by his special advisor Office of Political, Legislative, and Civic Engagement, Dr. Abiodun Afolabi Tajuddin. Can I have a round of applause for the representative of Mr. Governor?
What's this? This one.
I'd also like to welcome a woman of great humane cordiality, beautiful in and out, a thoroughbred medical professional, a respected and revered national icon, an unapologetic lover of humanity, Our Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, wife of the Governor of Lagos State. Your Excellency, you're welcome.
I also like to use this opportunity to welcome the editors and members of the press. I salute all editors and members of the press who are here today. You are duly honored and recognized.
I'd like to welcome my Lord, Honorable Justice Kazim Olanrewaju Alogba, the Chief Judge of Lagos State, here represented. Thank you very much for coming.
We also have a veteran journalist and a reputable scholar of public communications in our midst today. Is no other than my spouse, Dr. Ruben Abati. Many thanks for creating time to be here today.
Thank God my wife is not here. She will have said I didn't recognize her, but Uncle Ruben is my big brother. I celebrate you too. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are blessed with 9 astute speakers that will be talking to us, but we need your favor. Hello? 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 I need you to hold the person sitting next to you or standing next to you and tell the person, I need you to be quiet. Tell the person standing next to you, please. Hold the person's hand. Say, please, I need you to be quiet. Thank you very much. We'd like to welcome the Governor of Lagos State, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Chief Judge, principal officers of the House,
members of the LSHA, members of the Lagos State Executive Council, Head of Service, Deputy Clerk, body of permanent secretaries, former political officer holders in our dear states, gentlemen of the press, like I said earlier, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Let us start by introducing also our revered speakers. The first is an erudite and committed professional, one of Nigeria's brightest legal minds, a man who is totally detribalized, firm believer in the rule of law, former governor of Lagos State, former minister of Power, Works and Housing, His Excellency, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, senior advocate of Nigeria. Can I have a round of applause for the son with a sound mind?
Honestly, this is one man that greatly leaves an impression on me since the very first few years of my career. I served under his administration at the Enyigbeti project for Lagos State while he was governor 2 years ago, while he was also the minister for power and housing in our great country. He opened his door and granted an exclusive interview for Real Talk with Kike, my live TV show. And I must say that he's always willing to serve the state as a patriot that he is. He will be addressing the topic of federalism and the quest for perfect union in Nigeria. Again, I want to say many thanks to San Babatunde Raji Fashola for all the good works you've been doing, and of course for adding value to my career path till date. Thank you so much for being here.
I want to welcome a man with immense experience in political, economic, management and cooperation, acquired over 16 years in the service of the French diplomacy. He holds degrees in foreign languages, social, law and international relations. He is the Consul General of France in Lagos, Mr. Laurent Favier. Bonsoir, bienvenue.
Again, it's a privilege to introduce the Chairman, CEO of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM. She is another veteran media journalist and human relations in Nigeria, a concerned Lagosians and true Nigerian patriots in every corner of the globe. always stretching herself to the duty of Nigerians home and abroad. As the chairperson of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, our efforts have empowered countless Nigerians living abroad. Today, she will speak on the role of women in nation building. Again, many thanks, Honorable Mrs. Abike Dabiri, for creating time to be here today.
I'd like to welcome a man that has given many years of his life in service to his nation, Germany. He's been in the military, he's been in service practically all his adult life. He's the Consul General of the German Consulate in Lagos, His Excellency Wirt Brunner, LLM. Guten Abend. Can I have a round of applause for him, please?
And he's here with his beautiful wife. Many thanks for creating time to be here, ma'am. We have here also the Consul General of the Italy Consulate in Lagos, who will share insights on Nigeria's democratic journey from an Italian perspective. Please join me to welcome Ugo Boni. Many thanks for creating time to be here today. Here this evening is also Johnny Baxter. He is the British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos State. I'm pleased to have the British Deputy High Commissioner to provide a UK perspective on 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. Again, many thanks, Johnny Baxter, for being here this evening.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly welcome the representative of most distinguished Senator Wasiu Eshilokusoni, who is here, your brother, legislator. Can we have a round of applause for her, please? Special Advisor, Don Commission Matters, Honorable Sumi Lanre Odesoya. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome a visionary Democrat, a firm believer in fairness and hard work, an exceptional grassroots politician, the tribalized, enterprising, resourceful, and resilient Speaker of the most proactive House of Assembly in Africa, one of Nigeria's brightest legal minds, the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Obasa. Can we have a round of applause for him, please?
Can we please give him a round of applause if our hands are not busy, please? All right, I think it's important for us to
I'm surprised nobody is shouting Agege one.
All right. Nigeria is a diverse country, rich in culture and heritage. For our delight here today, we will be having the cultural troupe, their performance as a signature of arts and culture that we promote in our country, Nigeria. Let's welcome the dance group from Lagos State Cultural.
You know, there's something about Lagos. While some come here because it's the center of excellence, some come here because it's the home of the African dream. A lot more come here because of our hospitality.
Absolutely.
Whilst countless respect us because of our tourism, arts, and culture. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lagos State troupe of the Lagos State Culture and Tourism Ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for them as they perform for 3 minutes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives us great pleasure to welcome
Honorable Mudashiru Obasa for his welcome speech. But before then, it's important for me to read the recitation or the citation of Honorable Mudashiru Yusuf. He's a renowned Nigerian politician, and a legislator who has made significant contributions to the country's democratic government. He has been a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly since 2003 and has served as the Speaker of the House since 2015. Obasa has been recognized for his outstanding leadership and legislative expertise and has received numerous awards and honors for his contribution to democracy and good governance. Some of his notable achievements include longest-serving member of the Lagos State House of Assembly and Sub-Saharan West Africa. Please, can you give him a round of applause? He has also been elected as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly for 3 consecutive terms, 2015, 2019, and of course, 2023. He initiated the first ever annual constituency stakeholders meetings, which have led to significant infrastructure development across the state. He has sponsored several private member bills that have been passed into law or into laws, including the Neighborhood Safety Corps bills, Anti-Kidnapping Bill, and Cancer Research Institute Bill. He has been honored with several awards, including Best Speaker of the Year, Golden Ambassador of Lagos State University Podium Recognition Awards, and Outstanding Leaders Awards, recognized also as a member of various reputable associations.
The Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa has been conferred with honorary doctorate degree and chieftaincy titles by various institutional and traditional rulers, such as PhD honorary causa in political science by the prestigious Joseph Ayo Dele Babalola University, Jabu, the Bar Shofi of Lagos by His Royal Majesty Oba Rilwan Usholole Aremu Akiolu Oba of Lagos, Bajumo of Egbaland by the Alake of Egba, His Royal Majesty Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo III, Ba Mufin of Ijeshaland by the Owa Obokun of Ilesha and Paramount Ruler of Ijeshaland, His Royal Majesty Dr. Gabriel Adekunle Aromolaron, Akomolasha of Ibadanland by Olubadan of Ibadan, His Royal Majesty Oba Saliu Adetuji Aje Oguguniso I, Otumba Shiwaju of Itori Kingdom by the Unitori of Itori Kingdom, Baba Fatai Akamo, Shoba Loju of Ikorodu by the Ayangbure Oba Adewale Kabiru Shutobi. Overall, Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Obasa is a highly respected and accomplished legislator who has made significant contributions not only to Lagos State, but Nigeria democracy as a whole.
As a qualified lawyer and dedicated politician, his leadership has been instrumental in advancing legislative process in Lagos State, and will I say the progress of Lagos State. Please join me in welcoming the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, to give his opening address.
The first speaker to chair the Conference of Speakers in search of financial autonomy for the House of Assemblies. Can I have a round of applause for the good Right Honorable?
Where to start with? I just have to say a very big thank you to each one of us in this hall. And I would like to seek your permission to adopt introductions that have been made by the companies. But however, I would like to be a bit partial by recognizing those people we have brought here to talk to us this evening. And I'm sure each one of us will grant me that honor. With us this evening, I would like to recognize the First Lady of Lagos State, who is in our midst this evening, Mrs. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, the First Lady of Lagos State. We thank you for coming, ma'am. and the former governor of this state, and also a former minister of this federation, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola. We thank you, sir. And our brothers and friends from afar, but who have been very close to us and very friendly, are also here to share this moment with us and relay their own observations about how our democracy has been growing in the last 25 years. So as I relay their names, please kindly share them all. We have Laurent Favier, Consul General, French Embassy. Thank you, sir, for coming. We have Bonner, Consul General, Germany Consulate. We thank you for coming. And our own sister from Lagos, Honorable Abike Dabiri Rewa, Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. Ugo Bodi, the Consul General, Italy Consulate. And Johnny Baxter, United Kingdom British Deputy High Commissioner. We also have somebody I can call, either, what do we call it? Frenemy. He's a friend, he's also an enemy, because you have to be very careful and you need to toe the line so he will not become your enemy. You know, when you see somebody that says he's fighting corruption, that simply means you need to be careful to relate with him, but yet he's still our friend. And we have with us Mr. Adebo Adeniran, Chairman, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership. Hey, thank you for coming. We also have Mr. Michael A. Evin, USA Political and Economic Chief, U.S. Embassy. Thank you, sir, for coming. Mr. Muda Yusuf, former Director General, Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you, sir, for coming. We have Professor Egosa Osagi, DG, Nigeria Institute of International Affairs. And we have our father, an industrialist, here with us this evening. We just want to say big thank you to him for being here by this time. Prince Samuel Ade doing investments. Thank you, sir, for coming. And our mother, our sister, Chief Nike Akundi, former Chairman, Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm sure after the long night, there's a need for all of us to go back home, likewise me. And if I fail to do this, my own night may be a bit difficult. So permit me to recognize my lovely and beautiful wife, Mrs. Olushola Falilat Obasa. She's here with us. And I also have my lovely children, two of them here, to witness what we call democracy and how we grow democracy in this part of the world. We have Sinas Abeke Obasa here with us, and also Ibatu Lai Obasa. They are all here to witness how we celebrate democracy. So once again, I want to thank all of you. My brothers and colleagues from Lagos State House of Assembly, I thank you. They have been very supportive, very dedicated, very loyal, and they have been serving people of Lagos with all totality and loyalty, and I can never thank you enough. If not for them, there won't be what they call speaker today. As we all know, first among the equals, because they are all qualified. So I say thank you, God bless you, I thank you all. And our party leaders, GAC, I can't mention you individually, but I thank you for coming. So ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, fellow citizens of Lagos State, welcome to this evening celebration marking 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. As we gather here this evening, sipping our drinks and enjoying others' company, let us take a moment to reflect on the significance of this occasion. We are here not only to celebrate, but also to dissect, analyze, and criticize the 25 years of our democratic experience to guide our democracy journey ahead. Well, I've just been reminded that if I know I want to continue to be member of this party, that I should remember the party chairman. So pardon me, my party chairman, Cornelius Ojelabi, I recognize you, thank you. Esteemed guests, we are gathered here today celebrating the silver jubilee of unbroken democracy in Nigeria, a milestone that is worthy of recognition and celebration. Since May 29, 1999, we have consistently upheld the principles of representation, accountability, and rule of law. We have ensured that power is transferred peacefully, that dissenting voices are heard, and our institutions remain strong and independent. Ladies and gentlemen, our democracy has endured despite challenges and setbacks. We have faced elections, protests, debates, and our commitment to democracy has remained unwavering. We have demonstrated that democracy is not a destination, but a journey. And we are proud to be on this path. As we mingle and network tonight, let us acknowledge the heroes of our democracy, past and present, who have fought tirelessly to entrench democratic values in our land. Let us celebrate our achievements and acknowledge the progress we have made. Tonight, we honor sacrifices of those who fought tooth and nail for democracy we enjoy today. We remember the likes of Chief MKO Abiola and his wife, Kudirat Abiola, who paid the ultimate price in the struggle for democratic governance. We remember the courage and resilience of those who stood firm in the face of oppression, who refused to be silenced, who fought for the freedom we enjoy today. People like Professor Wole Soyinka, Chief Gani Faweyimi, Chief Bolage, Chief Frank Kokori, His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, General Shehu Musa Yaradua, Dr. Beko Ransom Kuti, Abraham Adesanya, Chief Anthony Ehanoro, General Alani Akinrinade, Admiral Ndubuisi Kanu, Alfred Riwani, Kayode Fayemi, Colonel Abubakar Umar retired, Chief Ganiu Daudu, Chief Ayo Okpadokun, Chief Alao Akala Bashorun, former United States Ambassador to Nigeria between 1993 and 1997, Walter Carrington, late Navy Commodore Ebitu Ikwe, retired, Clement Nwako, late Balarabe Musa, Olu Falaye, Lam Adeshino, Chief Olabi Idrojaye, Dan Sulaiman, Right Reverend Bolanle Bonigi, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, former Foreign Affairs Minister, Professor Segun Gbadigesin, Rokpo Shekoni, Adebanjo, and General Adebayo Williams, who all offered intellectual support for NADECO. Femi Falana, SAN, who luckily is with us this evening. Femi Aborishade, Joe Igbokwe, Olisa Agbakuba, Chief Cornelius Adebayo, Ayo Obe, Governor Uba Sani, Reverend Father Matthew Kuka, Ebun Adegboruwa, Clement Nwako, Debo Adenoyan, who is also with us, Akinola Orishagbemi, who was personal assistant to Kudirat Abiola, Chukwuemeka Esefe, who died recently, Innocent Chukwuma, Shima Ubani, Bumi Aborishade, Dr. Tunji Braithwaite, Shifra Obioha, Colonel Gabriel Ajayi, Senator Shehu Sani, Abdul Oro, and Ayo Adebanjo. Journalists who joined the struggle include former governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba, Nosa Igeebo, Bayo Ononuga of the News and Tempo, Kunle Ajibade, who was jailed for life, Bayo Ononuga, Babafemi Ojodu, Chris Anyanwu, and Bagauda Kato, who was killed, to mention but a few. Others who joined the struggle include Dr. Frederick Fashewu and Are Gani Adams of OPC organization. Ayodele Adewale, a young man then, but a grown-up now, is here with us this evening. And many unsung heroes who were killed on the streets of Lagos. Another part of Nigeria, media organizations, including National Concord, Tel Magazine, Punch, The Guardian, and Tribune, truly proved their worth as fourth estate of the realm. There were also resilient market women, ably led by Alaja Abibat Mogaji, the late Iyaloja General. We also remember noble rules of some of our royal fathers, particularly the Awujale of Ijebuland, His Royal Majesty Sikiru Adetono. The Nigerian Labour Congress at the time played formidable roles, as well as National Association of Nigeria Students. They have all etched their names in golden book of this great nation. Here we must mention some countries that stood staunchly with us during the turbulent military era, especially Canadian and South African governments. The sacrifices of all heroes have made it possible for us to gather here tonight, enjoying the fruit of democracy. We are able to assemble freely, to express our opinions openly, and to participate in democratic process without fear of persecution. These are rights that were hard-won, and we must never take them for granted. Of course, we also remember inglorious activities of those who were against democracy in Nigeria, the likes of General Babangida, General Sani Abacha, General Chris Ali, Professor Humphrey Nwosu, Babangana Kingigbe, Tony Aneni, Chief Uche Chukwumerije, Daniel Kanu, Ato Inseribe, Professor Jerry Gana, Alhaji Lateef Shofolahan, General Ishaya Bamai, Sergeant Rogers, Colonel Frank Obmeka, General David Mann, who threatened to kill MKO Abiola if he was sworn in as president, and who later became a major beneficiary of democracy and a host of father. He became a senator, and not just a senator, Senate president. And he threatened then he was going to kill MK Abiola. All these individuals, in one way or another, have been criticized for their links with anti-democratic forces during the struggle for the present democracy. Definitely, history will not forget all their roles while sabotaging the democratic progress of this nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as a Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly, a house that prides itself as being above common standard of excellence, I am proud to acknowledge the critical role that the legislative arm of government has played in shaping our democracy. We have worked tirelessly to promote good governance, accountability, and rule of law. We have passed laws that have transformed the lives of our citizens, and we have held our executives accountable to their actions. Lagos State House of Assembly has fostered strong relationships with democratic government and institutions worldwide through exchange programs, foreign parliamentary visits, worldwide through exchange program, foreign parliamentary visits, and interactions with parliamentary leaders and members. The Assembly prioritizes the education and development of its members and staff, sponsoring them to attend various training programs, seminars, and conferences locally and globally. These include Annual Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, CPA, National Conference of State Legislature, NCSL in USA, International Bar Association conferences, International Law Institute programs in Washington, USA, and visit to the British Parliament, the Westminster. As a transformative and people-centric legislature, the House of Assembly has delivered impactful laws and representation, reforming justice, social welfare, and security systems, and driving tax reform, infrastructural development, and transportation improvement. These have attracted significant attention from local and international admirers, leading to frequent visits from international representatives, private citizens seeking to learn from us, exchange ideas, conduct research, or participate in exchange programs. These visitors hail from Europe, America, Africa, reflecting the Assembly's growing global reputation as a transformative legislature. In this vein, we recognize countries like France, Italy, Germany, USA, China, UK, South Africa, Kenya, and Liberia that have had relationship with Lagos State House of Assembly. As we speak, we have also received PhD students in the House who have chosen our institution for their thesis. But our democracy is not a destination, as I said, it is a journey, and we must continue to guard it jealously, for it is the foundation upon which the fabric of our nation's progress is built. We must continue to promote democratic values, protect human rights, and ensure that our democracy remains perpetual, unbroken. Thus, in assessing the level of progress of our democracy, we have invited local and foreign speakers to give us their honest perspective. Let me use this medium to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed guests, newspaper editors, and other stakeholders who have consistently played a crucial role in shaping our democracy. Your contributions, whether through criticisms, bills, or activism, and what's not, have been invaluable in holding our leaders accountable and promoting democratic values. As we be raising our glasses and toasting to 25 years of democracy, to continue growth and strength of our nation tonight, and to unwavering commitment of Nigerians to democratic governance, I want to especially thank our esteemed guest speakers. I urge us to play roles in developing our democracy as a commentator or as a critic. At the same time, I solicit for support for legislative institutions, particularly state houses of assembly throughout the Federation, to further deepen democratic values in the state, protect democratic institutions, and entrench representative government in our grassroots. Thank you. Let us enjoy the rest of the evening as we listen to other speakers. Long live democracy, long live Lagos, long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Obasa. Can I have a louder round of applause for him, please?
Are we happy for democracy thus far? Are we pleased with the journey thus far?
Yes.
If we are, please, let's give him a round of applause for that welcome address. All right, before we start calling the speakers, I believe that I need to have a little bit of banter with the audience with the opening address from Honorable Dr. Obasa this evening. I must ask a few of us, how has democracy played out in favor of Nigerians in the last 25 years? Can someone please tell me? Can someone in our midst tell us, please? Can I cite any of the ushers here that can pass the microphone to...
Let me just help by saying that we're on a journey. We have not reached the promised land, but we truly will get there because we've had 25 years of unbroken democratic governance in Nigeria. And each administration gets better than the former.
25 years of improvements of human rights, the quest for transparency, and an enhancement of accountability of governance. I believe that these are all we're enjoying at the moment and we've enjoyed in the past. Again, I want to say many thanks to Honorable Dr. Obasa for the welcome speech. Next now is for us to start bringing in our distinguished guests, and let me leave that to you.
Our first speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a selfless leader, a man passionate and hungry for change, is a lover of his people, icon of our nation, darling of Lagosians, astute manager of men and resources, former governor of Lagos State, former minister of power, works and housing, one of Nigeria's brightest legal minds, His Excellency, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola,
please,
senior advocate.
Keep giving him
of
a round
Nigeria.
of applause.
Let him use your mic. I need to change the Can we give him a louder round of applause? Each of our speakers has 10 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, Your Excellency, the wife of the governor, members of the House of Assembly, members of the diplomatic community, leaders of our very, very great party, the All Progressives Congress, members of parties who are opposed to us, who are in our midst, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And I think that I like the part where Speaker Obasa said that his children were in the hall. I like that part. And he brought them to see what democratic celebrations and institutions are like. So I want to start my intervention from there and to say that if there was no democracy, there would be no House of Assembly. And so for those who wonder why we celebrate, we're celebrating liberties, we're celebrating the freedoms to make laws through people representing us, elected by us. We're celebrating people to make laws in an open arena where we have a sense of what is happening, where, therefore, we can predictably see how our affairs are being ordered. And if I may say, manner of very lightly, maybe without a house, without a democracy and a House of Assembly, there will be no Honorable Obasa here, neither will there have evolved a Speaker Obasa. So he will probably be practicing law somewhere, and there will be no this evening. But we do have this evening, and people must hold on to it very jealously. I'm going to try and make my intervention short. I've written down some notes. And just to say that for those who understandably are impatient with the democracy, I hear them. It can be a tedious way to govern. And there's perhaps no better person to express that to you than the Speaker of a House, having to work with 39 other members to reach decisions. And then, as if that wasn't easy or difficult enough, the executive arm having to bring perhaps a money bill to Parliament, and then by the time it comes out, it has changed what it looks like. The skirt is probably longer, they removed one arm, and when you go there, they say, but our constituency. And we need to understand this. But for those who are impatient with it, listen, there is no better way to order our affairs. I will not trade the liberties that it offers for anything else. And so I hear some of those frustrations, if you like, with the process when they now say, oh, Nigeria is not a federal state. It's a unitary state. It's this. There's power too much here. There's power too much there. And we should take it off. But I disagree with them. They are wrong. We are a federal state. And let me tell you why. A federal country, federal state, whatever. Let me tell you why. We have multi-level legislative houses, from the local councils to the National Assembly. We have multi-level judicial systems, from the customary courts to the various magistrates, states, federal, and appellate courts. We are appellate courts. We also have different levels of government exercising different forms of responsibilities. And this you will find in the exclusive and the concurrent list. And of course, what is not in those two lists is the residual authority that retains and resides in all the states. So, for example, I say that the National Assembly cannot make laws on matters relating to landlord and tenant, for example. They can't make laws about rent control. That is the preserve of each state. So, and I ask how many of us are really using these powers of landlord and tenant laws, rent control, to protect our citizens from Shylock landlords. This House once passed a similar law, reducing it from, I think, 3 years to 1 year. It has had its impact. But at this time of very severe economic challenges and cost of living issues, I think we can go back. And I think if we give our people the opportunity to get 3 months or 6 months rent, to pay 6 months, at the worst in advance, we would have helped in no small way. But I leave Mr. Speaker to think about that. I think that when you see skits, and let me dwell in this a minute, because it would be remiss of me not to use this opportunity. I think we've seen skits and we've watched videos where when the landlord comes knocking, the parents go into hiding. And they tell their children, go and tell the landlord I am not at home. But in the innocence of youth, some of those children will say, my daddy said I should tell you that he's not at home. Because the poor child is confused. But that is not the story. The story is the undignified situation that that parent faces because he has to bring out rent in advance of what he has earned. So if I was a legislator, this is one area where I will be very busy. And I leave the matter there. So for those who say that we are not a federal system of government, I have disagreed with them. And I have shown why. We have multi-level this, multi-level that. And I decide to apply what I call the duck test. If you know the famous duck test, it says that if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it is probably a duck. So given all of the tests that we have had, multi-level judiciary, multi-level lawmaking, I say about our constitution and about our republic that we are federal because we share powers like a federal government. We have multi-level systems like a federal government. We most certainly are a federal government. Now, is that Federal arrangement perfect, certainly not. And there is a lot that can be improved in the process. And this is why I am truly delighted to be here at the invitation of the Speaker and his colleagues to come and speak about federalism and the quest for a perfect union. And I'm just going to say a few things. That we tasted federalism, I believe, in 1954 with the Littleton Constitution. And since then, its appeal has been undeniable for us as a people. That's where we have stayed. And because of our multinational, multi-ethnic, and the diversity that exists in our nation, history has been very clear that a federal arrangement is perhaps the best suited arrangement in which diversity can thrive. So for me, history is not wrong, and there is no going back about that. And I then go on to say that there are things that have happened in terms of technology, in terms of innovation, that have changed our world. As those things change, our needs will change, our wants will change, and therefore we will continue to go back to our rule book, which is our constitution, to say, how can we improve things in order to make our life, and by extension, I argue, our federation and our union more perfect. So I speak to some of the changes that have happened in the last 25 years, and they are profound, and we must not forget them. I speak to the famous resource control case. I don't have the citation here now. Maybe Femi Falana will help me with that. But that case originated from this state, and eventually, through constitutional interpretation, certain other states got more revenues than they hitherto got. That is part of making our union much better and improving on, because at the heart of it is how can we get more resources, how can we get more power, how can we take better control of our lives. I refer to the creation of local governments in this country, which again emanated from this state, and what has happened that has led us to the creation of LCDAs. I refer to the fiscal and urban planning case. Hitherto, as at 1999, if you wanted to build a house in Lagos, you would go and get permit in Abuja. People may have forgotten that, but it was again the Lagos state government who went to court and said this must stop. And the Supreme Court again validated that case. Those are constitutional amendments by judicial action that have brought on changes in search of a perfect union. Now, embedded in the quest for that perfect union is the quest for more resources, more representation, and so on and so forth. So I will quickly now come towards the end by reminding us that in those 25 years, apart from what the courts have done because of agitation, there are things that have also happened because of legislative interventions. So electric power generation in 1999 used to be a matter solely under the exclusive list. It has moved to the concurrent, and in fact, it has fully now devolved to the states. So that's progress in search of a more perfect union. And every state can generate, transmit, and distribute electricity as they now wish. And so the ball is in our court. We have also seen that things like building correctional facilities, development of railways, which were solely exclusive matters. When we wanted to start the blue and red line, we went to Abuja to get approval. Now, constitutional amendments have made that easy to do. Lagos leads the way with the blue and red line, and I hope the green and others will continue. Again, this is the journey towards a more perfect union. I hope that wages and salaries will in no distant future join their brothers away from the exclusive list and come to matters over which states have control. And that each state will be able to then set wages on the basis of what it can afford to pay, as it used to be at some time. A missing component of those multi-level arrangements, judiciary, lawmaking, is multi-level law enforcement. That was absent, and I'm happy that the matter of state police is now on the table. Again, we are making progress, in my view, towards a more perfect union. I say then that hopefully, control of inland waters, lagoons, and creeks, which are the blood vessels of coastal states, will also join the list as we go on. So, I conclude now by reminding us that the process is tedious. All of these in 25. As far as local government creation is concerned, the work is not done yet. The work is not finished. We thankfully now have a president in office who started that process. We must help him, good of all, so that our local governments, each state in search of that perfect union, can decide, I want to reduce my local government, I want to create more, I don't even want. That must be a choice of development. So there is work to be done. Roll up our sleeves, in or out of government. We must make our voices heard in a civil and temperate way. So we shouldn't be fighting each other. We can disagree, but we're not enemies. And that's the point I make there. The quest for a perfect union is a worthy cause. It is, for a federal community like us, a call to nation building. And we must embrace that task with all our might. It is a noble way to celebrate the sacrifice and the memory of the martyrs of our democracy. So many people have died. I urge us to rededicate ourselves to the task in earnest, and to those who come after us, they will someday be able to look back and say, wow, these people did a lot for us. Thank you for listening. Happy 25th anniversary.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, former governor of the Center of Excellence, former minister of the Federal Republic, and a shining light of our nation. Can we have a round of applause for him, please?
If you align with me on this great man's contribution to Nigeria, please keep giving him a round of applause. Many thanks for that insightful speech. Nothing truly can move Nigeria forward better than the perfect union. And that was remarkable, sir. Please, let's give him another round of applause.
Well done, sir. I'd like to quickly welcome some Eggheads who have been in here for a while. The Vice Chancellor of Africa's most prestigious university, the University of Lagos, Professor Folashade Ogunshola. Thank you very much for coming. Professor Muiwa Odusoya, Lagos State University of Science and Technology. Thank you very much for coming. And the Vice Chancellor, Lagos State University, another great institution, Professor Ibiyemi Ibilola Olatuji Bello. Can I have a round of applause for them,
Another
please?
distinguished guest in our midst from the British High Commission, Mr. Wale Adebajo. Many thanks for being here today.
Wale Adebajo is a scion of the Superstores family. Can I have a round of applause for him, please?
All right. Our next speaker is the Consul General French Embassy, Lagos. That's Laurent Favevi. I hope I pronounced that properly. He will share insights on Nigeria's democratic journey from a French perspective. Please welcome the Consul General of the French Embassy.
He holds over 16 years experience in French diplomacy, holds degrees in foreign languages, social law, and international relations, and is soon to become a honorary Nigerian. Mr. Laurent Favier, a round of applause for him, Your Excellency.
Thank you
Please,
very
5
much.
minutes. 5 minutes if it's possible. 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker of the House, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Representative of the House, dear colleagues of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, distinguished distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media here present, all protocol observed, good evening, everyone. It's a great honor and a privilege to be able to speak before you as Consul General in France, in Lagos, as I feel particularly privileged as we commemorate today 25 years democratic governance in Nigeria. A big round of applause first. I would like to rejoice with Nigerians at how far they have come, and with them to express my hopes for the future as I reflect on what democracy has been in Nigeria. Over 64 years of independence, democracy has certainly been put to the test as Nigeria was led by military regimes for nearly 30 years. The First Republic lasted 6 years, you know, the second 4 years and 3 months, while the Third Republic ended before it ever began, as the military ruler annulled the June 1993 presidential elections. 1999 marked a turning point, while the transition from military to civilian rule and the beginning of the Fourth Republic, which turned out to become the longest period of democracy in Nigeria's political history. Coming from France, a country that proudly remembers those who helped build its institutions, its successive constitutions, the sacrifices made to protect them from authoritarian, I can only appreciate that people do not forget of what military regimes were, that they must learn to see democracy for what it is, and it is not a state of perfection. It is something for which they have to fight for every day, and you have to learn them. It is a process that must always be deepened and strengthened. This is a political structure that should aim at giving everyone a voice in order to create a fairer society. Neither the French nor the Nigerians' version of the democracy is perfect, and this is not the point at all. Speaking as a foreigner who's been living in Lagos for 9 months now, I certainly do not pretend to know and to understand everything about Nigerian institutions in political life at all. However, let me to say that how much I appreciate every day in my contact with you, everywhere, whenever I met somebody, it is a real pleasure to see and to talk to people, express their views freely without any problems, including through criticism whenever is needed. This exercise of freedom of thought and speech is a prerequisite for the development of democratic institutions. And I hope it will continue to flourish and deepen all around in Nigeria. Allow me to highlight 2 problems we are all faced today in France, in Nigeria, but elsewhere. Firstly, the temptation that currently pervades some quarters of public opinions all over the world to believe that democratic regimes are less effective than others, whether in terms of security or economic. As West Africa in particular has shown in recent years, we know that this is not true. We know that authoritarian regimes become obsessed with self-preservation, fighting for themselves before fighting for the security and well-being of own people. Behind the promise of authoritarian efficiency usually lurk the interest of certain individuals and not those of the masses. Secondly, the need to build safe information spaces for everyone, in which citizens can access reliable information in the media, on social networks and elsewhere. Democracies and electoral processes in particular are under constant attack, especially from authoritarian regimes seeking to destabilize them. France and Nigeria, you know better than me, have not been spared by that. This is an issue on which governments, civil society, and the private sector will increasingly need to cooperate so that collective decision can be taken on the basis of fact and real fact and not false information corresponding to the interest of a particular pressure group or a foreign power. On these and other issues, I look forward to working in the future to strengthen cooperation between the French, the Nigerian governments, in the private and in the civil society. Long live to democracy, long live to Nigeria, and long live to the people of Nigeria. Thank you.
Très bien, merci. Can I have a round of applause for him, please? It's not easy when French is your first language to translate straight into English. I think it deserves a resounding round of applause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome someone born in Bonn, Germany. He's given many years of his adult life in service to his country, Germany. Federal Armed Forces Reserve officer, former. He studied geography and law, masters in law. He's worked at the United Nations Environment Program. Second, joined the German Foreign Service in 1995. He has served in South Africa, is the Consul General of Germany Consulate in Lagos. Welcome, His Excellency Word Bonner, LLM.
Congratulations all people of Lagos State and all of Nigeria on 25 years of democracy. Congratulations. And thank you, Honorable Speaker, Dr. Mudashiru Obasa, for your kind invitation to my wife and myself. And thank you very much for this wonderful gathering with so many lively Nigerians. There is actually, this year in 2024, an interesting parallel between Nigeria and Germany. You are celebrating now 25 years of democracy. We are celebrating right now 75 years of democracy under the basic law, as we call our constitution that was set up in 1949 after the horrors of the Nazi regime and the Second World War. So it's a clear parallel. Currently, only last month, on the 23rd of May, we had a big festival of democracy in Germany on this occasion of 75 years of basic law. But, as we all know, democracy is not something that you just install and then leave it as it is. It doesn't work like that. All of us, whether in Germany or Nigeria or other democratic countries, we have to fight for democracy every day. And I can assure you, and that's also the feeling in Europe, in the near future, we may even have to fight more for democracy because many countries and many tendencies in some areas of the world are not in favor of democratic structures. Now, if you look at peace, freedom, and democracy, there are two more aspects that, according to our experience under the basic law in Germany, are most important. One definitely, and it was mentioned before also by the Honorable Speaker, is the rule of law. Without the rule of law in your own democratic system, there is no fair participation and fair compromise wherever it is needed in your state structures. The other point I'd like to highlight is the social state, as we call it. Many also call it welfare state. But I don't like this word of welfare state because it sounds like charity. But it's not about charity, it's about economic and social participation, also of the weaker parts of your own population. And that's an ongoing challenge, I think, both in Nigeria and Germany. Now, let me mention two more aspects. One is the freedom of opinion, also a cornerstone in any democratic system. And here I was really happy to experience when I came to Lagos that there are many, not only media, free media about expressing opinions, but also many individuals don't mind expressing their own opinion. And when you had elections, your elections last year from Germany, only last Sunday, we had the European elections also in Germany, in all EU member states. And in Germany, in parts of Germany, a rather radical party won a majority because the other parties didn't listen to the citizens. And that's a classical example where it's not just needed to have freedom of opinion, but also to listen to the different opinions amongst the people to realize what politicians have to do. My last aspect I'd like to highlight, which was also highlighted in the keynote speak before, is federalism. You may know that's another parallel between Germany and Nigeria. Germany is also a federal republic with the same layers, municipal, state, and federal level. And again, it's something where we have very good experience with because it's also a very healthy competition amongst states. You have even 36, Germany has 16 states, but still there's a lot of competition going on between the states, and that's a healthy issue. And I'd like to encourage you to even look for more federal aspects. As was mentioned before, a good example is this Electricity Act 2023, because it gives the chance to states, to individual states in the federal system, also to work on their own energy policies. And I would like to encourage you in this also with an example from Germany to close on the issue that is also very close to Nigeria's heart, the energy situation. When Germany started its energy transition about 25 years ago from mostly coal-based power plants to renewables, we also gained through a lot of decentralization, meaning having also the federal level, the state level and the municipal level involved. And this led within 20 years to a real revolution if you look at who is producing power in Germany. The example is that when we started the energy transition, about 300 huge power plants, coal or gas-based, were producing electricity in Germany. Today it's not 300 big utilities, it's about 2 million electricity producers, because each farmer with wind power on his or her land, and everybody, every village producing solar energy or biomass is feeding the grid and is an energy producer. So let me encourage you in going on with in improving your federal structures further, and let me congratulate you once again to 25 years of democracy. Best wishes from Germany for the next 25 years of Nigerian democracy. Thank you.
Vielen Dank für diese, vielen Danke.
All right, many thanks for that elaborate speech. I've always known that the ties between Nigeria and Germany has a strong one with forward-thinking initiatives. Many thanks again for that wonderful, insightful speech. Please, let's give him a round of applause. It's a privilege to introduce the chairman, CEO of Nigeria Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM. She is another veteran in media, journalism, and human relations in Nigeria, a concerned Lagosians and true Nigerian patriots in every corner of the globe, always stretching herself to the duty of Nigerians home and abroad. As the chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, our efforts have empowered countless Nigerians living abroad. Today, she will speak on the role of women in nation building. Let's give A warm welcome to Honorable Mrs. Abike
Dabiri Erewa. A round of applause for her, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kike, for that introduction. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for inviting me. And let me begin by paying my respect and compliments to all of you, but most importantly, to all the women in the building, led by our own Mrs. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu. Can we say a shout out to all the women in the building? Because without us, there'll be no nation. And without us, you won't be here. So thank you very much. Now, talking about women in nation building, and in the last 25 years of democracy, I'll be very brief. As women, first and foremost, who are we? What are our characteristics as women? I was in UN Beijing conference, and women, we are the heartbeat of the family. And the family, of course, is the cornerstone of the society. So we are the cornerstone of creativity, determination, and peace. And in particular, the Nigerian woman is described as brilliant, intelligent, hardworking, beautiful, has a lot of energy, and we are the best anywhere in the world. Nigerian women. The men are not clapping. The men are not clapping. So as mothers, as women, 25 years of democracy in Nigeria, how has Nigeria fared? Unfortunately, we've done not too well. When I was in parliament, we were about, I think, 27. Today, they are less than 9. The Lagos House of Assembly used to be, I think, 7. Today, they are 4. Nigeria today is at the lowest rung of the ladder in Africa. The lowest rung of the ladder in Africa. So I think 4.4% in the national, in the states, 3.6% at the state level. We have not done very well. And I think we have to do better. And what should we do about this? We are here, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, thank you for me. We are here, Mr. Speaker. I think the parliament should be able to look at some legislation. It's not easy. We're not saying we want a free ride, but let's have a level playing field. That's what we're asking for. Mr. Speaker is saying, ha. The women, you are not clapping for ourselves, though. Political parties. Where's our chairman? Cornelius, Pastor, let us see your face. Please stand up. You have to be intentional about supporting women. It's not just about collecting free form. You have to be intentional. Give us a level playing field. We have women that are qualified, educated, and if you say any position, we have women that can fill those positions anywhere in this Nigeria. So we are holding you responsible today. Come 2027, we want 70%. But you know why it may happen? Let me tell you why it may happen. When I was in parliament, Lagos had 3 women. And who was our leader then? Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So if Lagos will have 3 women, I think under him we can do much better than we have done. So we're very optimistic. So really politically, we need a better playing field, and we can do it. And therefore, women ourselves, this message is to you. Let's have the courage to do what we have to do. Come out there. You know, if you are doing well in your as a professional, come and participate. Don't leave this thing to just the market woman that will sing for speaker when it's going for campaign. Baba o, baba o, baba o, Oluwa da baba si funwa. That's not the only role we should play. So let the women come out, educated women, professional women. Please come out and contest elections. Even if you don't contest, participate. It's very important. And I'll tell you as women, and please listen to this. My dear women, if you are not on the table, you will be on the menu. So you had better be on the table. So if you are not on the table, that's what they'll do with you. Just eat you up, and you'll be of no value. So let us ensure that we put our best foot forward and be on the table with all our fantastic men. Then as mothers ourselves, 25 years of democracy, what values are we imparting on our children? So while we go into politics, while we excel in what we do, as mothers, the values are very important. I just came back from Accra, Ghana this morning. We've brought back 11 girls trafficked to Ghana. Yeah, but you know the sad part? Some of them, their mothers were involved in the trafficking. So as mothers, let's know how we're raising our children. Let's raise children to be proud of. And then as women, let's mentor one another, support one another to ensure that, you know, we just work collectively to build this great country of ours. So my message to the women is, Fumi is here, Madam Speaker, you're here, First Lady is here, Honorable Jumoke as well. We have a lot of women parliamentarians here. Let us take the mentorship seriously. Let's get together as one. Forget about the fact that women, you will quarrel with each other. We don't quarrel with each other. The men make us quarrel with each other. We are friends. Let's get together, support one another, encourage one another. And you know what? We are a powerful force. But I'll leave you with just this message, that women speaking up for ourselves and for those around us is the strongest force we have to change the world. My fellow women, 25 years of democracy, the next 25 years, we can change Nigeria. We can change Nigeria. Let me hear you say it again. And we can change the world. And you know why we can even do it more? Under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As governor, in everything, he has supported women in a way that we all know many people have not done it. So women, the ball is in your court. Let's come out. Let's take the bull by the horns. Let's show courage. When I left television, I didn't think it was going to be easy. And it's not going to be easy. Let me tell you, it's not easy. But let's do it. You need to leave your comfort zone and go out there and make a difference, make a change. Because why? We are women and we are agents of change. Thank you very much and God bless you. Thank you.
That was very inspiring. Please, can we give her a round of applause? Many thanks for that wonderful contribution
A round of applause for her.
Of women in...
We women have to stick together. When it's time for 70%, I will contest as a woman. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa. A round of applause for her. Our next speaker is a graduate of economics. He also has a master's degree at ISPI in Milan. He observed his national service in 2002, started his diplomatic career in 2003. From 2008 to 2021, he served as first secretary and deputy head of mission at the Italian embassy in Kyrgyzstan. He moved to the embassy in Minsk, Belarus in 2012. Returning to Rome in 2016, he was assigned to the policy planning unit of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He speaks English, French, Russian, and Spanish. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, talking about 25 years of democracy in Nigeria, the Italian perspective, let's welcome with a big buonasera, Ugo Boni. A round of applause for him, please.
Buonasera a tutti. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker of the House, Dr. Mudashiru Obasa, honorable representatives of Lagos State House of Assembly, distinguished colleagues of the Diplomatic Corps, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to be here tonight to celebrate with you the 25 years of democratic governance in Nigeria. Democracy is a fundamental principle enshrined in the Italian Constitution, and last year we celebrated 70 years since the entry into force of the Italian Republican Constitution on the 1st January of 1948. And a few days ago also, here in Lagos, we celebrated the Italian National Day, which marks the anniversary of the Italian referendum, where the Italian people chose the Republican form. And that was the first time that after more than 25 years, Italian people went to vote, and also it was the first time ever that Italian women went to vote. In the last 75 years, of course, many things changed, but Italy remains strongly committed to reinforce democratic values and institutions at home and abroad, and actively supports also the European Union's international efforts to strengthen democracy as the universal rights underpinning it, as set out in the EU's funding treaties. And of course, we inspire to this value also our presence here in Nigeria. Italy additionally plays an active role in promoting democracy and human rights in multilateral fora, such as the United Nations and the Italian presidency of G7, whose culminating moment will be tomorrow with the summit of the head of states and governments in the southern Italian city of Brindisi. The pursuit of democracy requires undertaking bold and ambitious action to tackle the serious challenges for democratic institutions at the national and also at international level. And it means also supporting efforts through a comprehensive and holistic approach to strengthen democratic principles and processes, to cultivate responsible national and global citizenship, and to build more open and inclusive societies, promoting gender equality and women empowerment. And of course, it means also fighting against corruption at every level, because corruption hampers sustainable economic growth, distorts market competition, undermines the rule of law, and erodes citizen trust. And I'm sure that also all the people in this room would agree that democracies are best fit to enable the transformative change needed to face today and tomorrow's global challenges, to help individuals, communities, society, and nations develop to their fullest potentials, and to foster, through cooperation and dialogue, a more peaceful and better world. But today is the day to celebrate democracy in Nigeria. And as the Speaker of the House said, democracy is a journey and not a destination. And what a journey it was. Nigerian people have taken over the years many significant steps along the path to democracy. As for all other countries in the world, including Italy, this path has been tortuous, marked by countless examples of courage and heroism, but also by numerous setbacks. May this day be a time to celebrate our heroes and reflect on what has been done and what remains to be done. Concluding my remarks, I want to salute Nigerian democracy and commend the people of Nigeria for their achievement made on this journey. And as a representative of the Italian government, I want to reassure you on the full availability of my government to engage and continue to be a trustworthy companion along the road. Long live to democracy, long live to Nigeria.
Can we give him a louder round of applause, please? And coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, is a man whose language we have spoken all our adult life. In fact, at a point in our history, our language was called vernacular until a couple of years ago. Please welcome the Deputy High Commissioner, Lagos of United Kingdom, the irrepressible Mr. Johnny Baxter.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this fantastic invitation to be here tonight. If you'll allow me to stand on existing protocol. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to speak this evening as you mark 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. And it seems to be appropriate to do this as my own country is deep in its own electoral process. Transparent democratic governance is in the interests of all people, all economies, and the long-term stability of every nation. And I don't need to tell you that, not in this place, the Lagos State Assembly, which is the embodiment of democracy in Lagos. And it's important to remember, as we were reminded before, that many of you have struggled much harder than I or anyone in the UK has had to struggle to achieve this democracy. My country is united with yours in our commitment to the principal pillars of democracy, namely freedom, justice, inclusion, and accountability. We're committed to protecting, strengthening, and promoting this democracy. But there are many reasons for that commitment. States with democratic governments guarantee fundamental individual rights. They allow for a relatively higher level of political equality, and they rarely go to war with one another. However, authoritarian practices, including in West Africa, continue to challenge the international order and contribute to a decline in democratic freedoms globally. Democratic states face challenges such as foreign threats to our elections and electoral processes, disinformation, and physical and cyber threats to our democratic institutions and to those who represent them. So in these challenging times, it is important that we support each other in our shared commitment to democracy. Through initiatives led by Nigerian partners, the UK has worked to support the strengthening of electoral systems. However, we all know that democracy is not just about elections. It is much more about the core institutions that support those elections. And so we have supported the bodies and processes that provide accountability. We have supported parliamentary reforms, we have supported legislative reforms, and we have supported civil society and the media. We're currently working with partners to support efforts to increase women's participation in politics and government, and we heard a powerful speech in favour of that earlier. And we are glad to be part of this journey whenever we are invited to be. And that is critical, because this journey can only be a Nigerian journey. Nigerian voters have displayed resilience and resolve to have their voices heard through ballot. And I'm sure you rightly share a pride in that. Problems and differences are better addressed through the ballot. Local governments play a pivotal role in delivering the democratic will of the people, as this institution proves. State assemblies in Nigeria are legislative powerhouses, essential for enacting laws and policies at the state level for the welfare of Nigerians. So over the past 25 years of democracy, Nigeria has become the biggest economy in Africa and has become an influential actor on the global stage. And we all know that is where Nigeria should be, on the global stage. Nigeria's democratic resilience and significant influence in West Africa can serve as an example to other nations seeking to strengthen and protect their own democracies. Coups and conflicts in the Sahel and West Africa have resulted in democratic regression in the region, reversing economic and political progress. This poses a major risk to the stability, security, and success of Africa as a whole. 2024 is taking shape as the year of elections. An estimated 49% of the global population will head to the polls to vote in national elections of at least 64 countries. We must, and I believe we do, stand united in our belief that democracy delivers accountability for governments, voice for citizens, as well as long-term stability and development. So, congratulations on 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. But as importantly, congratulations to each of the elected officials in this room. We know the burden of holding elected office, the responsibility that you have chosen to take on, the responsibility that your electors have placed on you. And congratulations to the others here, those who play their proper role in holding the representatives to account, and those who play a role in informing the electorate. Unbroken democracy is as much part of your achievement as it is of the elected representatives. So the UK looks forward to partnering with Lagos State and Nigeria for the next 25 years and beyond. Thank you.
Mr. Johnny Baxter is United Kingdom Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos. Can we have a round of applause for him, please?
Many thanks for that delivery. The British High Commission and Nigeria have had relations of historical proportions over the century, and I want to use this opportunity to say thank you so much for that enlightenment. Our next speaker is Chairman of the Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership. Mr. Adeniran is a dedicated advocate for transparency and accountability in governance. Mr. Debo Adeniran, another powerhouse and familiar face on my live show, Real Talk with Kike. Honestly, no one can pull this off but Honorable Obasa, because Mr. Debo Adeniran is another renowned and respected civil rights activist in our country who consistently put his voice and face to the betterment of the civil society and human rights in our great country, Nigeria. He will be discussing the concept of democracy and the role of civil society in adhering to human rights. Please join me in welcoming Mr. or Dr. Debo Adeniran.
Thank you for that award of doctorate degree. Mr. Speaker, thank you for inviting me. It's an opportunity. It's an honor. Members of Lagos State House of Assembly, I thank you for allowing me to be on this podium, sharing podium with several egghead diplomats and all the other ones. I am grateful. What I'm asked to do here is to tell a story, give a lecture, and analyze the situation within the last 25 years. But we don't have the luxury of time, so I'm going to summarize. I actually have a paper, 20-page paper, that I will have, yeah, but then I'm here. Going into etymology of democracy, it presupposes that democracy is the power of the people, but that is nebulous. Just like the Lincolnian democracy or definition of democracy. Actually, Abraham Lincoln was not defining democracy, he was only expressing his wishes the way he thought democracy should be. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is also nebulous. It has no form. It has no meaning. Kratos, demos Kratos, Latin, I think, or Latinized Greek, was grafted together to give us what is now democracy. Meaning that the people are the object and subject of what true practice of democracy should be. the people should be the ones that will be controlling the affairs of their lives through their freely elected representative, which the parliament is supposed to be. Because in some cases, even the parliament are dictated to. It happens in the days of Obasanjo, when members of the House of Assembly will be harassed or rounded up, taken to a remote place, given an instruction that their governor should be impeached, and the governor will stand impeached. It happens in about 2 or 3 cases. That was not democracy. If democracy were to be what it's supposed to be a government that satisfies the needs of majority of the people. And that is why when they say majority will always have their way, even when the minority have their say. But then in most cases, it is the minority that is actually imposing their wills and caprices on the majority. Why should it be like that? Sometimes we make pretenses to conducting periodic election. But a lot of people are disenfranchised, directly or indirectly. Directly by not registering them for elections. Indirectly by ensuring that the processes of election does not go smoothly. You knew what happened before June 12th election. About 30 political associations that wanted to transmit to political parties were banned. About 23 political parties were also banned. They didn't allow them to contest elections. Several politicians that wanted to contest elections were not allowed. That was not democracy. It was dictatorship. Election held under option A4, open secret ballot system, which didn't guarantee your right to privacy. That was not democracy. Election held, and around 6 p.m., the announcement of the results was stopped by the powers that be. People who voted didn't have the results of their efforts. That was not democracy. 10 days after, or about 11 days after, it was information from the presidency or the military, the office of the military president, told us that the effort that people had been making for several years that has cost them lives, limbs, their everything, their property, was annulled. That was on June 23rd. That was not democracy. A number of people died. Kudirat Abiola was shot dead around here in 1996, June 4. His husband died 2 years later, July 7. Par Alfred Iwane was murdered in cold blood. No explanation has been altered till today. Organizations, civil society activists were harassed into silence or sent to exile or sent to the world beyond. Some journalists, even when they wrote things that were true, were also harassed, arrested, not prosecuted for any offense. Some of them were actually sent to the world beyond. Bagadakato, in whose name the press center in the seat of power here was bombed somewhere, in a part of Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria. That was not democracy. The bottom line is that all the flurry of activities that preceded June 12th election was not democratic. What happened on the day of that election was also not democratic before, because we voted under the fear that if we didn't vote, the military will prolong their stay And we voted for an election the way the military actually wanted. I tell you, Abiola was an indiscriminate philanthropist and was well known all over the world. He was the pillar of sports in Africa. He also fought for reparations. Those are the things that endeared him into the heart of the people. He campaigned under the slogan, Hope 93, and the mantra, farewell to poverty. That endeared him to the mind of the people. And set jitters down the spine of the military that if Abiola should ascend the power, it's not going to allow them to have a say or maybe to dictate to the government on how they should operate. That was not also democracy. So what we are saying here is that we should stop saying that June 12 was the best election that we ever heard. No, it was not a democratic election. So naming June 12 as Democracy Day is like celebrating those who truncated the process of democratizing Nigerian governance. You are saying that Babangida conducted the best election in this country? You are saying that Humphrey Nwosu, who could not develop enough courage to announce the result of that election, was democratic? Was it Justice Bassey Peme, who gave a midnight judgment that the election should not hold, that is democracy? Was it Aton Zeribe and his ABN? Was it the other Kanu, Nigerian yarn for Abacha? Was it a Democrat? Who actually was Democrats was democratic in all of the people that arranged that election and executed it? Then, was it Babangida or the annulment of that election that was democratic? Was it the killing of Abiola on July 7, 1998 that was democratic? So what are we celebrating and calling that day when democratic process was truncated a Democracy Day? In place of that, our advice is that, Mr. Speaker, you have spoken for us. You can still speak for us. Put all the processes in place. Let June 12 follow the path of Martin Luther King Jr. Day in America in January. Make June 12 Basharun MKO Abiola Day. Because if June 12 didn't happen, we won't know what we lose without democracy. Now, I am telling us, this man is harassing me, please protect me. Now, a lot of things could have happened. The reason why Nigerian military has not struck is because of what they witnessed when Babangida held us by the jugular. We didn't give him rest until he was forced to step aside. He put Shonekan to succeed him. Justice Dolapo Akinsoya declared interim national government that Babangida used as a face-saving something. Illegal. And Abacha rode on the back of that. Take over from Shonekan. Abacha also ruled us with iron fist. Of course, African things happened to him. He went to the world beyond unexpectedly. That is the way things happen. Then we now have Abdul Salam Abubakar, who could not summon enough courage to confront the civil society organizations the way his predecessors did. So, we are saying the civil society organization are the voices, the true voices of the people. And that is why we should not muzzle their voices. They should be allowed to operate freely. And for diplomats that have spoken here today, they should find a way of assisting the civil society in Nigeria to be the eyes, mouths, and ears of the people and be able to put various governments in perpetual check. That is our function, and that is the only way by which democracy can be sustained in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Soli, soli, soli. So. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for. But without June 12th, there will be no democracy in Nigeria. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on that note, permit me to welcome a great lover of Nigeria, a great lover of democracy, a political and economic chief of the U.S. Embassy here in Lagos, to speak about 25 years of unbroken democratic governance in Nigeria, U.S. perspective, the irrepressible Mr. Michael A. Irvin. A round of applause for him. He'll be speaking for 5 minutes, or I will harass him too.
Wow. How do you follow that? That was democracy in action, if I've ever seen it. That was absolutely tremendous. Thank you for those words, Speaker. Speaker Obasa, thank you so much for this invitation to come to speak to this distinguished House of Assembly audience, to the representatives here present, my fellow diplomats in the audience, standing as always on already existing protocols. It's such an honor to be here with you today as we celebrate Democracy Day in Nigeria. And what a tremendous and appropriate location to do so. This legislature, the branch of government that dictators and despots fear because it's where so much of the people's work gets done, is such a fitting location for this kind of gathering. That balance of power, checks and balances, refereed by a justice system and the rule of law whose strengthening was certainly solidified in 1999. So many people, sung and unsung, have had a hand in Nigeria's democratic story and in the return to democracy in 1999 that we celebrate today. As a historian, I know, and I know that Speaker Obasa shares the idea that democracy is a continuous work of generations, a process and not an endpoint. Clearly, the Bellos and Ezequiels and Awolowos and the Abiolas are fundamental to the telling of this story, as too are the countless civil society groups, media outlets, activists, and journalists who played pivotal roles in advocating for democracy, human rights, and good governance in Nigeria over the span of generations. Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999 was first a victory for Nigerians. It restored fundamental rights and freedoms, allowed them to participate in the process, express their opinions, hold their leaders accountable. It gave voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, and power to the powerless. In a country as diverse and complex as Nigeria, democracy has become that common thread that binds it together, the people together, transcending the ethnic, the religious, the regional divides. But Nigeria's return to democracy was also a triumph for Africa. As the most populous country on the continent, Nigeria's embrace of democracy sends a powerful message to other nations that democracy is both possible and essential for progress and prosperity. It inspires democratic movements across Africa and reaffirms the continent's commitment to that democratic governance. But I also have to say that Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999 was also a triumph for the world. As a power with significant and economic and geopolitical influence, Nigeria's stability, is critical for peace and development in Africa and beyond. Democratic systems are less susceptible to extremism, instability, and conflict, and provide a framework for resolving disputes peacefully and fostering social cohesion. And given trends in the region that some of the speakers before me have mentioned, Nigeria stands tall as a beacon, showing the way for how diverse peoples can come together and ensure freedom for all. That freedom in Nigeria has opened the doors to the possibilities of economic growth and development. Democracy enables entrepreneurship, investment, innovation, economic diversification, and job creation. By promoting transparency, accountability, and the rule of law, democracy also fosters an atmosphere of trust and confidence. When effectively implemented, attracting investment that brings prosperity and the well-being of the broader public with it. I have called Nigeria my home now for 2 years and have been an eyewitness to democracy in action. I have observed firsthand every election that has taken place during my time here, traveling to Ibadan, to Uyo, and to Yenagoa to observe elections in 2023 that marked more milestones in Nigeria's democratic path. With tensions running high and expectations of the public soaring, and despite challenges and obstacles, the Nigerian people turned out to vote, and their votes were counted. And with each competitive election, and now 25 years later, Nigerian democracy continues to grow. And Nigeria has something important to teach the world: how a sprawling land of such diverse peoples can come together and share power in freedom. It's no small feat. And so as we celebrate today, we're not just in any House of Assembly, but it's the Lagos House of Assembly. And so I must also recognize the importance of Lagos State to Nigeria's democracy. As stated, democracy opens doors to economic development, and that evidence is so very much seen clearly right here in Lagos. Lagos is a hub of commerce, culture, and creativity. Its strategic location on the Gulf of Guinea makes it a gateway to the continent and key to global trade and investment. Lagos is critical in Nigeria's quest for economic diversification and social development. And at the epicenter of Nigeria's entertainment industry, Lagos is driving innovation, creativity, and cultural exchange around the world. Lagosians are known for their entrepreneurialism, your hustle, your determination to succeed against all odds. From the bustling markets of Balogun and Alaba to the towering skyscrapers of Victoria Island and Ikoyi, Lagos pulsates with energy and ambition that cannot and will not be denied by despots nor dictators. Lagos is also a melting pot of cultures, languages, traditions. With over 20 million inhabitants from diverse ethnic backgrounds, Lagos embodies the rich tapestry of Nigeria's broader multicultural heritage. It is a place where Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, and countless other ethnic groups coexist harmoniously, united by a shared sense of belonging and pride in this place. Democracy both enables and is enabled by that spirit. The same goes for democracy globally. Democracies need to stick together, to partner for freedom and prosperity, just as the United States and Nigerians are doing today. And Nigeria is our natural partner and friend. The United States is investing time, energy, and resources of the American people to support this democracy and see it strengthen over the passage of time. And in the last year, in my time here, we have seen Assistant Secretaries of State, Deputy Secretaries of State and Treasury, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken himself visiting Nigeria and Lagos, and they all had the opportunity during these trips to see what I see every day: the future. The world needs a free and democratic Nigeria. and we all need our friends to help us get democracy right. Inclusive, sustainable, that is responsive and accountable to the public to ensure that freedom and prosperity of future generations. And so this year marks a pivotal moment in Nigeria's democracy, the Silver Jubilee. Silver itself is a precious metal valued for its rarity, its beauty, and durability. And that is certainly a way to describe this 25th anniversary of the uninterrupted civilian rule here in Nigeria. And so today we celebrate democracy's beauty and commit to ensure its durability for future generations. We do this so that with each passing year, it becomes stronger and a little less rare, and more people around the world can be empowered and have their voices heard by those in positions of power. Congratulations, Nigeria, on this year Democracy Day. Thank you.
Can I have a louder round of applause for him? My co-MC was just saying that he and I sound so much alike. He was asking me if I'm from America too. Let me quickly recognize and welcome former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly, who is now our father, the Oloto of Oto Kingdom, Oba Bashir Oloto. Can I allow Kabiyesi, the Alara of Ilara Kingdom, Ekpe, Oba Folari Ogunsowo, the Onikate of Ikate Surulere, His Royal Majesty Oba Lateef Atanda Adams, Kabiyesi, the representative of Milord, the Chief Judge of Lagos, Honorable Justice Alugba, Honorable Rahman Oshodi. Thank you very much for coming. And last but not the least, Michael Omowale Irvin. A round of applause for him, please.
All right, many thanks, Michael, for that brilliant speech. You have done the entire United States of America a great representation this evening. Well done. Please, can you give him another round of applause, please? Next, we have the former Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Dr. Yusuf is a leading authority on economic trends in Nigeria. He is a renowned economist that have always put the intellectual and organizational capacity to the device of Nigeria in different agencies and on media. He is also a respected face on my live talk show, Real Talk with Kike. And I must say that today we'll be speaking on the economic importance of 25 years of unbroken, uninterrupted democratic governance in our country, Nigeria. Please welcome Dr. Muda Yusuf. 3 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've been told I have only 5 minutes. So I don't know how I'm going to manage that. Please allow me to stand on all existing protocols. Now, I'm to speak on the economic perspective of democracy. And you cannot talk about the economy without talking about the private sector, without talking about investors. Unfortunately, doing business in Nigeria is extremely very challenging, even in this democracy. So we are calling for protection of democracy for investors. Investors need democratic protection from regulatory authorities, from the bureaucrats, from the security agencies, sometimes from the judiciary, from the area boys, from the tax, name it. It's extremely very, very challenging. And we cannot have a strong democracy if we don't have a strong economy. There's a very strong relationship between a vibrant democracy and a very vibrant economy. So my appeal to all the major actors in the democratic space is to see what they can do using their powers of legislation, of oversight, of appropriation, of whatever it is, to support investment. Because investment is tough. An entrepreneur in Nigeria is like an orphan. You are like an orphan. And that is why we must make this democracy work for the private sector and for investment. And I must also say that we are not having enough interface between the political actors and the investors. We need to have an interface that is more robust, more regular, more periodic. And when I'm talking about investors or private sector, I'm not just talking about the multinationals or the conglomerates. I'm talking also about our market women, about our artisans, about our informal sector people. Because this is where the jobs are. The private sector accounts for about 80% of the revenue. They account for over 40% of the, over 80% of the jobs, employment. They are the drivers of innovation and transformation of the economy. But the frustrations are quite enormous. So we need protection to ensure that just as we have child rights, we have women's rights, we have human rights, we should have investors' rights. We should have entrepreneurs' rights legislated. So that when your rights are violated as an entrepreneur, there's a recourse to a legislative support to support you as an entrepreneur. We have seen many investors lost huge amounts of money just because somebody just decides to change a policy overnight. And the policy is taking immediate effect. Not too long ago, somebody took a loan, billions of naira, under the intervention fund of the central bank. He bought equipment, he bought machineries. He has only worked for 6 months. And there was a change of policy that made complete nonsense of that investment. Because the raw materials he was using for the investment was put under import prohibition. When His Excellency was in the Minister of Works, I remember he was in the National Assembly one day. And he was telling the National Assembly Committee on a budget hearing that the total budget of the ministry cannot pay even the contractual arrears. So we have many private sector contractors that are not paid. Some of them for many years. Where will they go to? Can you take government to court? What can you do? Then you have regulators. Regulators are like emperors. They are the accusers, they are the judge. We need protection in all of these things. Because without the private sector, there is very little we can do by way of promoting our democracy. And listening to the president's speech this morning, the president spoke about 2 variants of democracy. He talked about political democracy. He talked about economic democracy. And that is a very, very powerful statement. And the importance of this second leg of democracy is about having due regard for investors in the economy. Building an economy that is inclusive, getting the private sector involved in policy making, getting good feedback from them, getting their inputs in the process of regulation and whatever we are doing in order to sustain the confidence of investors in this economy. And when we are talking about investors, we are not just talking about foreign investors. We are not just talking about multinationals. We are talking about even the SMEs, the informal sector. We need to bring them on board and give them a sense of ownership in this economy. This is what the president was referring to as having economic democracy. And I think all of us need to take this on board in order to strengthen our democratic institution and our democratic experience. Thank you very much. Mr. Agbenga is already here, so let me just stop there. Thank you very much.
I hope I won't get the title Harasser of Democrats. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've had 8 speakers so far, and you've stood all through. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Now to the last and definitely not the least of all speakers is the Director General, Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, a professor worth his weight in gold. Please welcome Professor Egosa Emmanuel Osage. A round of applause for him, please. He has, Kike, 3 minutes. If you give a professor 5 minutes, he will take 50.
The Honorable Speaker of the House, thank you for this invitation. And I think it's worth the celebration. Yes, thank you. It's my return after close to 10 years. So that's fantastic. Happy Democracy Day in Nigeria. Now, I want to speak for 2 minutes about democracy and foreign relations. That's the topic I have been assigned to speak on. The entry point here would be the fact that Nigeria's re-democratization came as part of a global movement. That in fact, there was democracy's third wave, which in the 1980s and 1990s was something very, very high on the global agenda. So the world supported Nigeria to become a democracy again. And therefore, the world will take an interest in whatever happens in Nigeria. So that made democracy an integral part of our foreign policy. I'm glad to announce to you that Nigeria has a new identity. We are Africa's biggest democracy. And that confers on Nigeria the leadership that the world expects from this part of our continent and West Africa. So it's not for nothing that Nigeria's credible role as Africa's biggest democracy has led us into the kinds of movements we've had in ECOWAS and the kinds of movements we've had in the AU and in the United Nations. Now, the world is here to support us also for a second reason. Nigeria is Africa's biggest economy. And that means that the world identifies that, acknowledges it, and again must support Nigeria. Now, a stable democracy is the sure foundation for a strong and vibrant engagement with the global system. And that's very obvious in Nigeria. And the point that we have had these moments of leadership thrust on us by the resources that we have, human and material, the great potentials that we have as a country, and the kinds of things that we have done historically. Nigeria is a great country. Democracy makes us greater, and Nigeria would continue to enjoy the support of the international community for the reasons that I've identified. Happy Democracy Day.
No, if you do not clap for Prof, even God will not be happy with us. A round of applause for him. We want to say a big thank you to all our speakers, His Excellency Mr. Batunde Raji Fashola. A round of applause for him. Laurent Favier, the Consul General, French Embassy, Lagos. A round of applause, please. We're Bona, Consul General, German Consulate, Lagos. Honorable Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, Ugo Boni of the Italian Consulate, Johnny Baxter of the United Kingdom, Mr. Debo Adeniro, Chairman, Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, Michael Omobowale Evan, United States of America Embassy, Mr. Muda Yusuf, and Professor Egosa Emmanuel Osage. Please, let's give all of them a resounding round of applause. It's been about 3 hours of having you on your feet. Please, a round of applause for yourself. When I came in, I thought it was not going to be possible, but you've shown that members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, apart from being cerebral, are also fit as fiddles. A round of applause for yourself. And our guests, we thank you for standing all the way. When we need more players in the Super Eagles, we'll invite you. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you have questions. Can we have the second microphone, please? So, to give the vote of thanks, I would like to invite to the microphone the leader of our team and the captain of our ship. Number one himself. Some call him Agigi. Some call him the speaking speaker. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Well, thank you very much. If this is going to be a vote of thanks, I think I'm not going to wrap it up perfectly because we have a lot of wonderful people with us this evening to say thank you to. So we won't have enough time to do that. But in going home, we have something wonderful to take with us from all our guest speakers. They have done it, so much perfectly that we just have to appreciate them. And we thank each one of you, starting from the first person to the last person. And I want to say thank you to those who have left, and particularly from our friends. We thank you, sirs. We thank you, we cannot thank you enough. All you have done today is to remind the legislators, the representatives of people in Lagos State House of Assembly that we have a load of work to do. Looking at it from foreign perspective, looking at it from economic perspective, looking at it from political perspective, and generally from political perspective, that we have a lot to do to represent our people, protect their interests, and make sure their rights are well protected. And all this we want to assure you, we will continue to do. We will do it in such manner that our people will continue to support our great party, Alliance for Democracy. And that is what we are doing. What the APC, that is what we are, and will continue to deliver. I want to say thank you. Today, we are here to celebrate the 25th years of democracy in Nigeria. I want to assure you that we'll come back again to celebrate with a lot of achievement to reel out. I say thank you. God bless you. Thank you, all of you. Please do not leave the band. We'll be playing. It's a celebration. We have to keep celebrating.
All right, our host today, Honorable Dr. Obasa, has made provisions for our merriment, entertainment. So
on
please,
June 12,
let's
2024,
relax.
Lagos State House of Assembly.